Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 123 of the MTB podcast, presented and hosted by Worldwide Cyclery. I am Jared.
I am Jeff.
And I'm Liam.
And we're joined today by King Lentil.
Yep.
Liam's pet rock.
Jared tried to throw him out, and I caught him.
No, didn't try to throw him out.
There's some strange beef going on about the popularity of Jared's cat versus Liam's pet rock.
I didn't say anything.
That's the kind of stuff we spend our time on here.
There's a 30-minute conversation, and I won. Hence my rock on the table.
In this episode, we will discuss some hilarious race season recaps from the two amateur race teams that we sponsor, the recent bikes, rides, and component upgrades we've been enjoying, and listener questions ranging from why bikes still come with 175mm cranks, tuning your rear shock to perfection, and how to use your spare hardtail as a commuter bike if you blow up the engine in your truck again and your name is Ricky with 2 R's.
Wow. This sounds like it's going to be an episode packed with useful information.
It definitely will be.
That last one sounds like it could be an episode of Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if this was a real question or if this guy's trolling us, but either way, we're going to answer his question. Ricky.
And also today's episode is 1, 2, 3.
Yep. 1, 2, 3.
Go.
1, 2, 3.
And the date, well, never mind.
Oh,
whatever.
You're trying to make another
10/24/23. I was going to try and do that, but no, it didn't work.
It's just a date.
Well, there's 23 at the end of the day.
We
so
record
there you
these
go.
roughly 5 days before they go out or a week before they go out anyway, so wouldn't even work.
That's true.
Wouldn't have worked.
Before we jump into our topics,
Oh, that's
Whoa.
right.
sorry, that was really strong. We're going to do our intro segs.
Interesting.
That's a segs short for segments.
Yep.
Zach's words of wisdom.
You booze, you lose.
Those are Zach's words of wisdom.
That's what he had for us today.
Daniel's fun fact. Read Daniel's, because I have a
Daniel's fun
follow-up
fact.
fact to his fun fact.
This year marks the 20th anniversary of Starbucks Pumpkin Spice Latte, and they have sold over 600 million of them since it was created.
That is an interesting fact. I have a follow-up fact that I researched to go a little bit more in depth on this topic. And according to the National Academy of Coffee Drinkers, also known as the NACD, they estimate that women aged 13 to 24 will ingest up to 30 million pounds of whipped cream atop pumpkin spice lattes this fall season.
Wow.
That's a lot of whipped cream, but I bet you if they extended that age range past 24,
Yeah.
that number would be
Hundreds of
ridiculous.
millions.
It's got to be
Hundreds of millions of whipped cream.
Yeah.
hundreds of millions of pounds.
Are you a PSL guy?
Never had one.
Never had one?
Have
What about
you?
you, Jeff?
I have usually 1 or 2 a season. Actually, I had one this morning.
What?
I got it from Ragamuffin.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, but not from the Bucks.
Nah, I'm going to get the Starbucks one, though, too.
Okay.
I gotta try it
Average
out.
PSL enjoyer in our presence.
I
right
never had
now.
one either.
Oh, man, they're good.
Wow.
It's once a year. Just get 1 or 2, man.
Good.
They're good. They don't call it a PSL at Ragamuffin because, they're too hipster for that. They call it a pumpkin dream latte.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Is it
all right.
dreamy?
It wasn't that pumpkin-y, It was just good, but I'm going to
Would
try the
never-
Starbucks one.
Would never peg you for such consumerism and seasonality. Oh,
I don't know. I
gonna get
honestly
my-
like the flavor. I think it's good. It's a good flavor.
So does it rank higher than Starbucks? Do you like it better? You don't support.
I haven't had the
corporate
Starbucks
empire.
one yet.
I do.
Starbucks.
I
love
support Starbucks,
cold
man.
brew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why Starbucks cold brew is just
I prefer to
Yeah.
support small businesses, but
Yeah.
Starbucks, it's just like you always know what you're getting.
It's true.
You always know how fast it's going to take. It's good. It's
I
good
agree.
business.
But I don't know what they do to their cold brew, but man, it's like when I crave cold brew, I want Starbucks cold
Yeah,
brew.
they're putting something addictive in there. That's
For
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah, like multiple pounds of whipped cream or something per drink.
Well, I just get black coffee, but
According to the NACD.
According to the NACD.
Okay, so
Wow.
race teams.
Yeah.
Everyone who listens to this podcast frequently knows that we sponsor a couple amateur race teams. One of them being the Fire F1RE, Females First Racing Enduro.
I did not know that that's what that stood for.
You didn't?
No.
where have you been?
After all this time, you didn't know that's what Fire stood for? You just thought they picked the name because it sounded cool?
Yeah, exactly that.
Well, they swept the series, the Mass Series. It's an enduro series and out in the East US, and the B team got second. The B team, though, this is the important part. Let me open up my phone.
well,
here, 'cause
congrats Fire Team for beating the B team.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good job, Fire.
Shelley
You
did
guys
say she
rule.
didn't really want to rub it in because the B
I
team
wanna
had
rub
some
it in.
Oh.
hiccups during the season, which
Like
I'm
the
about to
injuries.
get into.
Well,
like the
they
injury
can
report.
stay cordial, but go Fire. My money was on Fire from the start, so
Wow.
yeah.
Big Wow.
I won a lot of money on
Confidence.
this one.
Really?
So I got an update from Matt
Not money.
saying that they finished the series and it was awesome and they got second. Thank you for support, yada yada. Thank you, Matt, for running the Epic B team. So of course I asked, well, how many broken bones? Let me get the injury report because I was just curious because there's been some injuries over this season. So this is what he texts back. He says, "Bro." To preface, there's a lot of typos in this. So if you're on the B team listening to this and you're like, I didn't break my ankle, Steve was the one who did that, and then let's blame Matt. He says, "Bro, Aaron, night before race 1, massive concussion, but he came back and then tore ligament in his finger later in the season. Josh Ferguson, race 2, broken ankle. Johnny, slip disc. Daniel, broke wrist. Luis, separated shoulder. Elliot Turd broke 4 bones, 2 in each arm, and all the team chipped in to get him a bidet."
Wow.
Because he couldn't wipe.
He literally broke both arms.
What a poor guy.
I know. That's a bummer. Elliot, we love you. You're my favorite B team racer. Even though Bectoro Gordon is the fastest by a country mile. He actually swept U19.
Wow.
He's making his pro debut next year. He's actually legitimately fast and a good racer.
Wow.
So also known as probably not going to be on the B team soon enough.
I was going to say. he's gonna move to some
Sorry,
A
Matt.
team.
Sorry, Matt, but he might be on some A team soon enough. He's that good. This list goes on. Tim, fractured wrist. Josh rode with COVID today, took 3rd, and the only time he didn't take 1st of the year in his class. Something about the Poconos Mountain Bike Club banning some racer from racing for some drama reason. I guess I can't get into the details because they're confidential. I don't know what's going on there. We're just gonna have to have Matt come on and see if he can politician his way out of that.
I'd love to hear that
thing. Our youngest, Justin, who's 14, won his first race today in 16U. And this is what tops it all off. Luis, the 50-plus rider, crashed today and then LOL rode the wrong way. That's what this says. Lost first place in the series because of that. Oh. He won every stage but one today, and that cost him the race and the series. LOL, he rode the wrong way.
Oh, no.
So I, of course, had to talk to Matt on the phone for a little more clarity.
It's like Talladega Nights when he spun out and he went the wrong way.
Yeah,
he didn't know how to go.
That's exactly what it is. So apparently he was on some flat section and clipped his pedal and scorpioned, and then in a just panic haste picked up his bike and started riding the wrong way.
Poor guy.
And then eventually saw another racer coming that way and realized he was going the wrong way. It turned around.
Didn't recognize any part of the track or anything. Poor guy.
I'm a little confused on how that happens, but sometimes you get concussed on these mountain bike races.
Brings up the question, how many people are on the B team?
Well, I don't know, 20 or something?
Oh, wow.
It's a pretty big
like
team.
18 of them got injured.
Yeah, right? Substantial.
And then Matt says, I rode well. Results sucked. Just can't pedal, man. Climb awesome. Race pedal terrible.
I'm going to say, for how much he crashes, it's amazing that he didn't get seriously injured.
Yeah, I know. The guy's made of rubber.
Yeah.
As for people that know, he was with us on the Italy trip, and we watched him crash several times, and he's made of rubber.
Amazing.
Also, November 11th, the B team guys, the remaining injury-free ones, I guess, are going to be at the Canuga Bike Park having a ride day. If anyone wants to fly out and you happen to be there, tell them that you know what's up with the B team because you listen to the MTB podcast.
Sick.
So that's our race.
Wow.
Race team recaps.
Laundry list of injuries.
That's what happens when you ride fast and loose.
Good thing we don't cover insurance for those guys.
Right? Jeez.
And people wonder why health insurance is so expensive in this country.
Well, you got to commend their efforts in the send.
Send.
Respect the send, man.
Yeah.
Those guys are sending it if they're getting injured like that, for sure.
That's why I don't race enduro.
Yeah, makes sense.
I'm scared.
Yeah, mountain bike racing is fun, but it can be very dangerous and full of broken bones. Yeah. But it's all up to you. If you push yourself that hard, then that can happen.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
Speaking of pushing yourself and sending it, what have you been riding lately, Jared?
Man.
Bikes? Riding components?
Have you ever
riding the hardtail?
done a mountain bike race?
Yeah, I've done a mountain bike race. Yeah, I did a couple Sea Otters, some years back. There might have been the only one I've ever done. Yeah. Can't really remember now.
Yeah.
What I've been riding lately?
Yeah.
Been putting the miles in, man, on the hardtail and on the gravel bike, trying to get ready for NOSCO next week.
Big gravel guy.
Big gravel guy. Big ride next week. Liam's doing it. A couple of guys are doing it. It's exciting.
I haven't missed a year since I started riding bikes.
Nice. This will be my second time doing it. For those who don't know, it's a charity ride. It's about 80 miles and 8,000 feet of climbing or something like that, and pretty much riding the big canyons and the Santa Monica Mountains. And it is a savage ride. It's legit though.
It's hard.
It's hard. Super fun, beautiful, a lot of good scenery.
For a good
Weaver
cause.
doing it?
Weaver's doing it. Yep, for a good cause. And yeah, it should be a good time. So basically, I've just been trying to get miles in and prepare for that, and also just have fun riding the hardtail. And Rip Sycamore to lower leg service a couple weeks ago. So it's just buttery.
Did it yourself?
I sure did.
Have you ridden it since?
Yeah. And it works. It's not leaking.
The lowers didn't fall.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that, Jeff, and no, it's fine. It's better than before.
That's pretty good.
No, it's awesome. I get a lot of satisfaction out of just mundane basic service, you know?
Lower leg service is kind of a cool one, I think.
Yeah.
It feels cool when you have all those things taken apart and there's oil everywhere. And,
Yeah.
It's actually extremely simple.
It
just
is.
feels intimidating.
It is.
Yeah.
and looks.
Yeah.
Totally. But yeah, I mean,
It's an important service to do.
Yeah. And it, like, I couldn't believe, you know, just how big of a difference it made, like putting the fork back together and all fresh seals and dust wipers. I was like, wow, this just feels
How many hours
even
did you
better
have
than
on
brand
that
new.
fork?
It's been about a year since I've put it on, so I don't really know, but I've been riding that bike a lot. So
It's usually like what, 50 to 150, like depending on the fork, and then also
depending on
just
your-
where you
your
ride. If
zone
you're
as well, yeah.
Riding
Yeah.
in nice dust on occasion, as opposed to riding in mud every day.
Yeah,
Huge
we did have-
difference in how often
we
you
did
should
have a
do
lot of mud earlier in the year, so that kind of, you know, probably soiled my seals a bit. Soiled my seals. They were
Soiled
pretty
your
gross.
seals.
I mean, Trevor and I were looking at them. They're totally black and disgusting. So
it. So you were a little late on the service.
a little late on the service.
Better to be late on the fork lower service than on the dropper post service.
Yeah,
Because the dropper post is where it just really just stops working well on you.
totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. What about you, Jeff?
I have not been riding bikes very much lately at all. I just got back a couple days ago. I was in Mongolia for 2 weeks, which is a strange place to be. But
He caught up on his barbecue.
Yeah,
I got up on my barbecue.
on the barbecue.
A friend of mine runs these adventure travel trips for entrepreneurs. They're awesome. Actually, on this trip, Adam Miller was there, the founder of Rebel Bikes.
That's right.
Actually, it must have been 2 years ago or 2 or 3 years ago. He was asking me just like, hey man, what are some really, you know, meaningful entrepreneur related business owner events that you've gone to and you enjoy going to? And I was like, oh, a friend of mine runs this company called Wayfinders. He puts on these incredible trips. I told him about him, and then Adam ended up going on one. Last year we went to Uganda and it was incredible.
Last year or 2 years ago?
That was last year.
This was last year.
Yeah. And then this year we did Mongolia. Went out to a little bit in the eastern side of Mongolia and the capital, and then most of the whole trip was on the western side and the pretty much barren wasteland that it is. It's beautiful, but there's very few of anything. There's just wild herds of sheep and yaks and some horses, and it's an incredible place.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a rugged trip. A lot of camping, a lot of freezing cold. We did a migration with a local family there that does their fall migration. So it was cool. There's a lot of cultural stuff mixed in there, but I just put in a lot of steps.
Yeah.
I rode a horse for 2 miles, hated every second of it.
Bareback?
No, there was a saddle on it.
All right. Well, I'm just make sure because you were saying you hated it. So
I just don't like horses.
No.
I just can't control the thing.
I love horses. I don't want to ride them though. I don't think they should be ridden ever. Unless you are in that situation and they're actually doing a purpose for you, I take that back. But
yeah, maybe some like it. I don't know. If only we
Well,
could talk to one.
they
and
use horses for. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot.
they're
of use
using
cases
them
for horses.
for an actual
Right.
cause, not
not
you
just
know,
like
herd
to
animals.
go ride around.
not
like
to
people
ride
out here.
around like people out here. But
Yeah.
we've had automobiles for over 100 years.
You should be on like one of those debates. Like there should be some type of YouTube channel like the Onion puts on where they put on these debates.
I'm still
could
going
go on
to
there
start my
about horse riding.
nonprofit soon.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
could totally see Liam like in Washington D.C. lobbying against like stop the horses.
We should buy you one of those. What does it say? A horse ride a cowboy shirts.
That's right. Yeah. That's totally Liam.
Totally goes with your whole theory on this.
That's totally Liam.
hmm
Wow.
So, anyways, I haven't really been riding bikes, and then I came back, and my bike still needs to get a refresh. Liam didn't work on it.
Oh.
I asked you to work on it, and you just
Ranger?
blitzed me out, man.
Uh-oh.
Neglected me. He's been busy. He's been doing more important things.
You got edged out.
I got edged out, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, I wanted to ride this thing.
Between
What a
preparing
ridiculous
for
complaint. Obviously, I could do it
November
myself.
sale and my personal vehicle issues over the last 10 to 12 days, I've been a bit busy.
You blow up your truck motor twice? Have to use your hardtail as a commuter?
Just about. Totaled my van and had to figure out all that mess of stuff.
Yep. No fun.
But I still made time to ride bikes.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I will probably lose my mind if I do not.
What have you been doing in riding? Upgrading.
Well, I just rebuilt my whole Rail 29 after a summer full of travel and trips. It just felt a bit worked. So pretty much every wearable I replaced, which, grips, brake pads, brake rotors, tires, trued the wheels, new chain, suspension services
Full
front and rear. Went down the frame, greased all the pivots, torqued them all up, chain ring, all that stuff.
And you did your fork and shock too, right?
Yeah, suspension.
Yeah.
Service front and rear.
Yeah. Okay. Must have just been.
So,
Wow.
I rode that over the weekend, all fresh, put on some new tires,
Phew.
DHR2s front and rear, EXO Plus front max grip, double down rear max grip. Lots of grip.
Good setup.
Max grip.
Mm-hmm.
You pedal that bike much?
Yeah, I just pedaled. I did a 4,700 foot ride on it.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
Ojai.
In Ojai?
Yeah.
On that bike?
Yeah.
What'd you ride out there?
Secret trail.
Oh, secret trail.
Secret trail.
It's not too secret, but I don't want to blow it up.
Yep.
It's a public trail, but it just got kind of cleared and brought back to life. So, it's a 22-minute downhill for the KOM.
It's a long downhill.
Yeah, it's a 2.
And it's enduro bike worthy, which is why you rode the Rail 29.
Yeah. Yeah, we were saying if we're on short travel bikes, there's a whole middle section that's pretty rough and rocky, and you could get through it on shorter travel with less tire, but you definitely have to choose your line a bit, and it won't be as fun. Where on an enduro bike, you can definitely let off and pump through rock gardens and kind of get crazy. It's super fun. It's such a fun trail, like descending like over 3,000 feet in one go, 22-minute downhill. And that's like KOM speed, so.
Sounds pretty sweet.
It's fun. Just broke it in up there. Felt good.
If you were to recommend a winter riding destination in the United States, what would it be? I just came up. This is my question as a listener.
That's Jeff's listener question.
Well, I was
just thinking about it. I was like,
Santa
maybe people
Barbara
would
would be awesome.
That's what I was thinking.
The trails are a little worked right now.
Yeah.
They don't have too many top to bottom running trails. They only have about 3. Otherwise, Phoenix is quite a good zone.
True. Phoenix is nice in the winter.
People
super
like
nice
Utah,
in the winter.
southern Utah.
Yeah,
St. George, can you still ride in the winter?
You can. It
Gets a
depends
little
on
chilly there.
it depends on the snow.
usually, right?
You could ride a little bit of Sedona and southern Utah, just depending on snow and weather patterns. But yeah, around here is not bad either. It's just not like a destination maybe worthy.
Yeah.
But if you had some friends out in this zone or LA area, you can make
If you live in Minnesota, it'd be pretty nice to fly into LA.
Yeah, for sure.
Spend some time in Malibu, ride some XC
it's
trails,
just not
Santa Monica
so
Mountains.
centrally located, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't just get an Airbnb and cruise out from there like you could in, say, Sedona.
You need
or even Santa Barbara. If you got one near the hills, you can get in some epic rides.
Yeah.
If you locate yourself correctly.
Yeah, you just be driving.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Rail 29 freshened up.
Nice.
That sounds nice. You been riding that Forbidden?
Yeah.
The Druid V2?
Yeah.
Kind of want one of those.
Dialed, man. You're getting one. You said you were going to get one.
Yeah, I forgot that I said that.
Well, we actually are working. So funny you mentioned it, Jeff. We got a video coming soon on that bike. Yeah? Review.
Well, a YouTube video?
YouTube video.
I literally was thinking today, I was like, what was that bike I said I wanted to buy? And I thought about it for like hours then. I was like, oh yeah, the Forbidden. That's what I wanted to get.
Wow.
I just spaced on it.
I love it. Yeah, do it, man. It'll be sick.
That thing looks really good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, you'll be seeing a little more of it on the YouTube.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Well, should we jump into our first listener question?
I'd love to.
Jump right in.
All right.
Gerard.
I'm trying to conceptualize what it will be like to ride a modern trail bike. I'm coming off a 2013 Ibis Mojo HD. New bike will have roughly 30 more millimeters of stack, 60 more millimeters of reach, 70 more millimeter front center, and 60 more millimeter wheelbase. Head angle is 1 degree slacker. What can I expect as far as differing ride characteristics?
To be quite honest, I'd expect more than 1 degree slacker. It's actually
depending
not that
on
bad.
what he's going from to. You can expect it to be way, way better.
Yeah, for sure.
Next question.
It's like better.
Gosh, I know, in like almost any tangible way.
One thing I'd say is it'll take a bit of getting used to.
Yeah, valid point.
You'll be, you know, a little bit more between the wheels instead of kind of feeling on top of them. And yeah, you'll run a longer reach, but you'll have a steeper seat tube angle in theory.
Longer dropper post.
Yeah, it'll be more stable. It'll won't be as nimble in certain sections.
Much less flexy than a 2013 Ibis Mojo.
That too, yeah. Be much stiffer and more sure-footed. Yeah.
Be a nice upgrade.
Yeah,
definitely.
I just feel like bikes these days are so well-rounded. You know?
Yeah, they really are. And they've kind of hit, I mean, we've talked about this a million times, but that sort of geo plateau, product innovation plateau. Like they haven't changed a ton since 2018?
I'd say 19 or 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've certainly changed a lot since 2013, so that'll be a big difference
definitely.
going from a 2013 bike to a newer modern
Yeah,
one.
I feel like it's going to be probably a lot more stable. And
Good news is if you buy like a bike nowadays, you can kind of bet. I mean, maybe I won't totally bet on this, but I'm pretty confident it's not going to be all that much different 10 years from now.
Yeah.
At least in terms of geo. I'm sure we'll get some fancy things. Maybe gearboxes will develop or some crazy things like that, but I don't think the geo is going to be all that different. I think we've kind of peaked out there.
Yeah. I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
I would agree as well. Next question?
Thanks, Jared.
Yeah. Just thought it off for my input there.
What is up with the great Kettle Glove famine of 2023? When will those baddies be back in stock?
Add a little spice there.
The Kettle Gloves, so we made a fair weather glove, which I enjoyed. I liked it. Gloves are very highly personal preference, and we decided to go a different route for the next glove model, and we're going to make a super lightweight glove, which has been amazing. We've got the final protos. The touchscreen sensitivity is incredible. It's like embedded into all of the fabric, not just little lines on there. So yeah, it's a super nice, ultra lightweight glove. It'll be called the Vent Glove, and it'll actually be coming roughly November/early December.
Wow.
Perfect for the cold weather. And it's a vent glove.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, we're literally getting like the lightest weight, breathable summertime glove showing up in November. But, you know, we just, we didn't really care about when it came. We cared about making a really, really good glove.
Have you worn it?
I have worn it.
Yeah, it's nice. Huh?
I do like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, super nice, lightweight type glove.
Yeah, I can't wait for them, actually.
Yeah, it's
I've
gonna be
been putting off getting more gloves because of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're going to be nice.
We have our worldwide hand-up gloves, which are quite nice, but they're a little hot for midsummer riding. So I have like one pair of really thin gloves that have just been milking, waiting for these ones because I don't want to buy anything.
Nice.
Yeah, hand-up gloves are sweet. They've got so many different models and styles and colors, and they're always in stock. And
they do make a lightweight one. I just only have the worldwide one that we have. So
yeah, that little collab glove we made with hand-up is sweet. But yeah, so an ultra lightweight Kettle Glove is coming sometime November/early December.
Sick.
It's gonna be nice.
It's going to be nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Kettle Glove famine of 2023 will be over.
in 2024.
In
late 23.
Late 23.
Alrighty, how about this one? Hey guys, greetings from Austria. I really enjoy your podcast and YouTube videos. Yeah, I think that was supposed to say and learned a lot from them. Got cut off. I recently bought a new bike right on Swoop and noticed the rear end feels really stiff no matter what. I already tried having more sag, less spacers, but it only got a tiny bit better. So I wonder if running a Vivid or Coil Shock might help. Current shock is a Super Deluxe Select Plus. Thanks in advance. Keep up the great educational work. Yeah, you know, Liam, this kind of reminds me of a bike that we both had a little while back. The Mondraker F Podium with the shock tune that was a little too harsh.
Yeah, the shock tune that came stock on the bike was just too harsh.
Yeah. Nothing you really could do.
I actually liked it, but Jared
did
not drive with it.
I didn't like it on like slower speed stuff. you know?
Yeah.
But like,
as a bike, you definitely had to ride basically at pace for it to come alive.
Like if you're moving through Sycamore and going really fast, it was great and like super supportive. But if you had slow speed tech, it was like you're just getting like rocked off the thing.
One thing I would do before buying a new shock is get that shock serial number and contact RockShox or a RockShox service center and try to see what tune is on there. That way you don't just buy a new shock and it happens to have a very similar tune, which should make a very similar feeling shock, even though it's a coil or a vivid.
Call Ham.
Yeah, like, going a vivid might help a bit. Coil shock, obviously has coil shock characteristics, but those tunes make a huge difference. And sometimes bike companies, don't nail it. And, sometimes making it a little softer on the tune can make a massive difference. So I would go that route first to see if that's an option. And then, it's also cheaper. Send it out, probably $200, get it retuned, see if that works. And then, look for a different shock if that still doesn't work.
There you go.
Yeah. Also, likely not the case because it sounds like an experienced rider asking this question, but make sure your rebound is not just too slow, because some people have rebound way too slow and it'll just pack up and they're like, this feels so stiff. And it's like, well, it's because you're just sitting way too packed up in the shock and your rebound's way too slow.
Good point.
I don't know if the
depending on...
also, make sure your compressions are open.
Yeah, that too, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know what Select, I can forget what Select Plus has for adjustments, but make sure everything's, pretty open and you're working on that as well.
Yeah. On that rebound note, I opened up my rebound a little more on, I think it was my Lyric, and I was like, wow, it actually is amazing how much of a difference it makes just speeding up the rebound a little bit.
It does.
Because I was just worried about like, speeding it up too much and like getting, bounced off of things, but ended up being really nice in between.
Yep, it's all about balance there. Can't have it too slow to where it packs up, and you can't have it too fast to where it feels like you're bouncing around.
Yeah,
I always try to run mine a touch faster. It feels good. Jeff runs his quite a bit faster than I do. So I try to go towards a little bit faster. It feels good. Doesn't pack up or anything.
Yeah, good to experiment with that stuff for sure. All right, well, we've got an important message.
Announcement.
Very important.
Very important.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Hey guys, Jeff again. Quick note that for the month of November, we will shamefully be participating in the crazy consumerism madness that the United States has left upon us, meaning we're having big sales on the Worldwide Cyclery website, the Kettle Mountain website, and the Trail One website. So if you're looking to buy some stuff, now is the absolute best time to do it because we are going deep on the discounts. And maybe we'll do some funny video again where Jared's pooping bike parts like we did last year. That was pretty funny. November blowout. That's all I got. Thank you.
And now, back to the show.
All right. This is a hot topic right here. The best car, SUV, truck for a serious mountain biker. Considering dirt inside, getting to the trails, and looking cool in the parking lot. Follow up. Best car, truck, SUV, truck, said truck twice, bike rack combo. Not the best bike rack, but the best combo. Take it away, boys.
Well, if you want to be a real mountain bike, you need a Tacoma with a tailgate pad, duh.
Well, yeah, definitely, duh.
This is I just think it's personal preference,
It is personal preference.
What else are you going to use your truck for? You're not going to only use it for driving to the trails.
Well, maybe
I will say having a truck with a tailgate pad is immensely convenient.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to toss your bike on the back of a truck. It's way easier than a bike rack.
Yep.
And you can put 5 bikes on there, which is really convenient when you're shuttling, and like just having a truck is nice.
Yeah.
Put a kayak in there, snowboards in there, toss a mountain bike on the tailgate,
But
bam.
it is not without its faults. See, you have a truck, you have 5 people in it, and you're shuttling 5 bikes. What if you're going camping? Where are you going to put all that gear? You might not have space. See, this is where you get a Land Rover. You get a LR3, LR4. You get a North Shore.
Oh, you're
going to
sleep 5 people inside your Land Rover?
Not mine, but LR3, LR4 has a 3rd row. So you can get the North Shore rack that you can put like 8 bikes on or 6 bikes or whatever. You can fit all your homies in there. And you have a full-length roof for a roof rack. And you have an actual trunk where you can put things in. They're not going to get stolen like some sort of savage. With your open things in your truck.
For everyone else who has a
You're
normal
just a
budget.
Land Rover Kool-Aid drinkers, all you are.
Right? For anyone else who has a normal budget, maybe, like a SUV.
Hey, you can pick up a
from
LR3, LR4, for a very reasonable price these days. These cars are like 10 years old.
What's the cost to own?
I want a camel
Who
trophy
cares how
one.
much it costs to
Yeah,
own? It's
no.
about smiles and miles. Baby.
Tell you what,
Get out of here.
Smiles
with your,
and miles. So
with your
you
thing.
expect me not to rep my set?
let's go halvesies on a camel trophy Land Rover and put a Tesla motor in it.
God, you're trying to make people roll out on their grave right now. Well,
That'd be awesome,
You cannot
wouldn't
take an authentic camel trophy Land Rover and put a Tesla engine in it, but you could take any other old Land Rover and put a Tesla engine in it. But a camel trophy one, that's like you have to like preserve it in like an airtight.
I don't know, man.
You know,
People
Or
put
go take it to
Hayabusa engines in smart cars.
well, yeah, because there's nothing better to do with it. Nobody cares what you do to a freaking smart
Haven't
car.
you ever seen Pit My Ride?
Yeah.
If you showed up to Pit My
Have you
Ride,
ever seen a Land Rover on Pit My Ride? No.
They don't need
you showed up to Land Rover with an old truck,
Not
what
even,
would they pimp
not
it
even
to?
pimp worthy. Now, what I have is a van.
Yep.
I'm a van guy.
Yep.
Very practical.
Yep.
Can easily throw bikes inside. Can easily throw bikes on the bike rack. I can sleep in it. I have a fridge
Yeah,
in there.
sleeping is nice.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, Liam. If I could get a van, I would have one.
When was the last,
But
when was
instead,
the last time
but
you
instead
slept
he
in
has a
your
Land
Land
Rover.
when the part of my friend.
Oh, you gotta
Oh.
bleep that out. PG-13 and
when
you
we
blew
were
it.
in Mammoth for the camping trip last year, and I said
2
I was
years ago.
never gonna do it again. No, that was last year, as in 2022.
Oh, you slept in it then and you didn't like
yeah,
it? Too
it's
small?
too tight, man.
Yeah.
It's
too
not
small.
long enough for you, huh?
It was kind of,
And
like,
it's not
you're at a
perfectly
diagonal.
flat, huh? It has a little...
I kind of got it
rise.
flattened out inside of it, like with a platform, and had stuff underneath. But like, I was like, okay, well, I got to go to the bathroom now. I got to get out of the car and open it. And then Paige is like, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, yeah, I got to get out of the car to go pee. And then I'm like slamming doors in the middle of the night and like rolling over her, and the bed's all creaky. I'm like, no, you know what? No, not sleeping in the car anymore. I was like, in the middle of the night, I'm like, okay, there's got to be a place in town I can go buy a tent so I don't have to sleep in this damn thing one more time.
Wow. And you know what I was doing?
Yeah, you had your big van. You weren't even in the van. You let James
Oh, I
sleep in the
wasn't.
van.
Yeah.
You were in a tent.
You were
I
in
was
the
in a
tent on the
tent.
ground.
I'm all about the tent life.
Yeah.
But usually
No.
I am in my van. That's the one occasion I give my van
Yeah.
up
Mm-hmm.
to let our HR sleep inside because she's afraid of bears.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I love my vehicle.
There
but
was a massive bear that year because we left out all this pizza.
there was a huge bear.
Everyone had too many frosty
bear was-
beverages and just left out a bunch of pizza on the tables, and there was a huge bear
Huge
just raiding the campsite the
Bear
next
ca-
morning.
Bear country.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, we're completely off topic on this.
you know,
Yeah.
regardless, yeah, the right car for you is what fits in your budget. Something like that, you know, resonates with you. Like for me, I love Land Rovers, so that's what I love.
I personally like to look at my vehicle and go, oh, that thing's cool.
yeah, right?
So
I like the convenience of a truck.
although
And I just don't sleep in it often enough
Yeah.
that I would care to get an SUV or a van. Like
And
I just don't do it
I'm
very
always
often.
transporting bikes so often that having a van is just so nice. Just to lock it up in there and
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
Although if I was about a week different on my timing, I might have just purchased your Tacoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Off you.
But yeah, there is no real replacement for being able to have your bike locked in the van. Like,
Yeah,
And
that is
sleep
convenient.
inside.
When I used to
That
have a
is
4Runner,
huge.
I used to just put the bike inside the 4Runner and I'd never have to worry about it.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, really just whatever fits with your lifestyle, you know, like if you have a family and, you know, you're not just going to get like a, you know, silly truck just to take bikes to the trailhead.
But kind of what I got from all this, we're kind of all on like an SUV. type
SUV
vibe.
or van or truck.
But
But
I'll
that's
tell you
also
what.
like what's all
But
between.
you can lock your bike in an SUV. You've got 2 or 3 rows depending on the model.
Yeah.
You can fold the seats down. You could probably, if it's big enough SUV, you could probably sleep in it pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
compromise.
Tell you what though, Dodge Caravan Cargo Edition.
Oh, you're bringing the
If you're already
minivan in
happily
here.
married and probably going to be with that woman for the rest of your life, and you really don't care about how you look, Dodge Caravan Cargo Edition. We've got one at our Pennsylvania store that we used to
Wow.
drive mountain bike
Stow and
parts
go seating?
back and forth. No, this one's a cargo edition,
Oh,
so it's not
cargo.
even stow and go. It just literally has like truck bed liner,
wow.
plastic
Wow.
liner in the whole back. So there's only
Jeez.
2 front seats, and then it's just all plastic liner in the
Jeez.
back.
So it's basically just a van with sliding
It's
doors.
just an empty van, yeah, basically with
Wow.
with that liner in there, and it's amazing because you can just
Well,
throw multiple bikes in there, lock it up. You could totally sleep in there.
You
if
could
wanted,
also
fit a ton of
just
stuff
get
in
a-
there.
like your old van.
Transit Connect
Transit.
or
Yeah,
Ram ProMaster City
Yeah.
for that.
Or one of those little Mercedes Metris. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, those are all great.
Whenever we take road trips, or not like road trips, we're flying to somewhere and drive somewhere, we always rent those Chrysler Voyagers.
Yeah,
the Stow and Go seating.
We made a sweet
Yeah.
commercial about
We
one
did.
too.
And we got
Chrysler
You can have
never
3
sponsored
seats
us.
going and 3 bikes and Evoc bags
Yeah.
in there and all your luggage.
I
And
can't believe
Yeah.
Chrysler didn't give us a car for that ad.
I know.
yeah, we tried to make an ad.
What's
if you're
the-
watching this on
We didn't
YouTube,
try, we crushed it.
yeah, we did
Yeah.
make an ad. If you're watching this on YouTube, you will see the ad.
Yeah.
Lou Dog, note to
We'll
put
key
that ad
up.
in.
We'll key that up.
We didn't. I don't know why we decided. We just had so much fun driving a minivan. We thought we'd make an
Yeah.
advertisement for it.
What was that pass I got to rip on that?
Kebler.
Kebler Pass in
Kebler Pass.
Colorado.
yeah, when
yeah.
we drove into Crested Butte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
One of
was
the only
nice.
times you can like beat the Google estimated time of arrival by 40 minutes.
Yeah. Driving like a rally driver.
Yeah.
You know, I got to say also, if you're not into a SUV truck, I mean, like a Subaru would also probably work pretty well.
That is one of the most popular cars mountain
is.
bikers have.
It
Subaru
is.
or
All-wheel drive. You can put a hitch on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Outback
Or roof rack.
or a Forester. Like I had a Crosstrek. It was just a little bit too small.
Yeah.
For like if you want to get other people and bikes and stuff, camping gear. You know,
Yeah.
speaking of limited cargo space. But yeah, Subaru, you get a little roof box on there and a bike rack. You're good to go, man.
Yep.
There you go. You could even have a rally car and a bike. You know, I mean, come on. There you go.
Yeah.
Get WRX, STI.
Speaking of
I
cars,
was gonna
trucks,
say, we're on
SUVs, how about
topic
this?
still.
How about this next
on
question?
purpose. I did that on
Oh
purpose.
yeah,
Yeah.
Just trying to slide them into the same
Just a
spot like that.
Perfect segue right there.
Read it up.
All right. Hey guys, I recently blew up the motor in my truck again. I'm thinking of using my aggressive hardtail as a commuter until I can afford another motor or car. What are some good 27.5-inch tire options for commuting and dorking around on the road? Also, are bigger rotors a worthwhile upgrade with lower end brakes? Thanks, Ricky. P.S. Sup, Bean?
Ricky.
Ricky
with
with
two
two
R's.
R's.
With 2 R's.
Two
I don't know if
R's
this
and
question
me.
is serious or not, but we'll answer
We
it.
will address it as if it is a serious one. So, 27.5-inch tire options for commuting and dorking around on the road. Well,
Did they make a Maxxis hookworm in 27.5?
bet you they do,
I
don't
had
they?
a better one, but
Or
they
the
don't make
Schwalbe.
it 27.5.
Schwalbe might have a cool
Marathon.
27.5.
Plus, hookworm would be sick. Like if you're not planning on going on the dirt at all, I mean, a hookworm would be.
I was thinking
Pretty
Holy,
legendary.
Holy Roller, which is
Holy
like
Roller.
an
Oh,
yeah,
race
Holy Roller.
tire,
That's
but they
like
don't
the,
make it in a 27.5.
Really?
I know they make the hookworm at 2.9. I'm not sure about 27.5.
I mean, Icon. If you're going on the dirt, what
They
is
do make a hookworm in a 27.5,
Oh, there you go.
which is
Yeah.
basically a slick
There
Yeah.
you go.
from Maxxis, but it's like make it in a 27.5.
Maxxis hookworm,
Mm-hmm.
legendary.
27.5 by 2.5.
What?
So it's a big fat slick tire.
That is so cool.
You could go on the dirt with that thing too.
That's
It's just not the
probably,
mud.
huh?
I would toss some of those on there and rip that thing
Wow. That,
until you buy yourself an LR3.
yes.
Or LR4.
That's our guy. He's a Land Rover convert. Yeah, I mean, that would be super sick, honestly. I've never ridden hookworms, but I've always wanted to. They look so cool. What if I put some hookworms on the El Jefe, huh? What do you think about that?
And just used it for commuting. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't at all.
That's also a 29er. You have a lot more tire options.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could put hookworms on that e-bike Paige has. Wouldn't be much of
Oh,
an
that
upgrade, though.
sketchy e-bike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the brand of that
It's
thing?
an Aventon.
Don't ever buy any of
Aventon,
those if you're
Aventon.
listening to this.
Aventon.
That is I think we talked about this before, but essentially your mom bought it,
Yeah.
rode it, crashed it,
Broke
and then
ribs.
broke ribs, and then gave it to you.
Yeah.
And then we were riding. Did you ride it?
Yeah.
How
It's
the-
treacherous.
How the bars
It just gets massive head wobbles.
so
The head tube is so steep. The thing
Yeah.
is dangerous to ride,
Yeah.
and it's fast,
Very.
which makes it extremely dangerous to ride. You know what that reminds me of? Do you
What?
remember when we were kids, those things called ATCs?
Yeah.
It was a
Oh,
three-wheeled. It was like
yeah.
a quad with a motor, but a
man.
three-wheeler.
For
Did
sure.
you ever ride those?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
they
we would-
they banned them. They
Yeah,
like
they
literally
banned them,
made
but-
them illegal in the United States. They were
Illegal
so
to
dangerous.
make, but you could still own them if you had
yeah,
them.
you could
That's
still
right.
own
My
them,
buddy's
but they
dad
made them
had
illegal
two
to
of
make
them.
and sell.
with
See,
Banshee
it's
two-stroke
treacherous.
motors in them.
Yep, I remember seeing ones. with
And we
Banshee
would sneak
motors.
them out into the river bottom and we would go rip those things, and we got ejected multiple times off these things. They
so
were
dangerous.
So sketch. But
that's
so
what
fun.
That's what Jared's mom's e-bike reminds me of.
Yeah, you take your hands off the bars.
Dangerous. And just
like this.
swabs out.
Didn't you determine that it is because there's no like rake to the fork? Like the axle basically bolts right into the bottom of it?
The whole concept of like understanding and correctly engineering trail offset and head tube angle is just out the window on that bike. The window, which is why your mom crashed it. I don't blame her whatsoever. That thing's
100%.
treacherous to ride.
Yeah.
And which is why you can't ride it no hands. And to make it even more dangerous, it has a throttle.
Yeah.
Right? You don't even have to pedal assisted. It's like literally has a throttle.
It's a class 2 e-bike, right? Not a class 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So you
Not
can
safe.
throttle it, and I also hack it to go over 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Hey, it's great for going to the
don't
grocery
buy
store.
one of those.
No.
Buyer beware. There's a lot of random, strange brand e-bikes right now that are not well designed.
No.
So if you're buying a commuter one, be careful.
Yeah. Well, there's so many.
You may buy it for your mom for Christmas, and she might break her ribs on it.
You know what is a cool e-bike commuter that I really love? The Le Mans bikes. Have you guys seen those?
No.
Le Mans, like Le Mans cycling? They make an e-bike commuter?
They only make e-bikes. Look at it right now.
Le
Wait,
Mans?
only e-bikes? What do you mean? They made a bunch of other
They
bikes.
did, and they went out of business. Bontrager bought them, or
Greg
someone.
LeMond, the old road racer.
Oh, this is like the Rad Power type bike. Oh, Le Mans.
Yeah.
Le Mans bikes.
Le Mans.
When I was a kid working at a local bike shop, we sold Le Mans. Because at some point they got bought by Trek, right? Yeah.
Oh, they have. Oh, it's like a gravel bike.
Look at that thing, dude.
Looks like a
Oh, that looks awesome.
Looks pretty sleek.
So rad.
It's like a flat bar commute. That's an e-bike?
Yeah.
Can't even see that there's a motor in there.
Le Mans, if you're listening, I would love to test one for you.
$6,000, huh?
Yeah, they're not cheap. It's because that's what real
that's a
e-bikes
nice bike.
cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not $2,000 from some random website, and you're gonna get squirrely and break ribs.
Aventon incorrect engineering crash.
Aventon,
break your ribs.
Aventon
Don't get it.
was a fixie brand, I believe.
What?
And when fixies lost their big hype, they probably jumped on the e-bike train.
Yeah, these are super cool looking bikes. You literally can't even see the motor, battery, or anything.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of random friends reach out to me in the last few years that just say, hey, can you recommend an e-bike? I really want to get something. And
Get a little Mond.
and I try and explain to them the price point that they basically have to spend to get something of quality, and they're just really upset about it.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry.
Like
I
those
think
Surtees.
Do not buy an e-bike from Amazon for $1,500.
I
It's
think
gonna
like
be
a
horrible.
Common Sol or Canyon or someone has a pretty affordable, like full suspension, even a hardtail e-bike.
Yeah.
That's probably where I'd go.
Yeah. If you go for like, big brand, you're probably okay. But yeah, like even that like Rad Power company, they're in like a couple of huge lawsuits because people died
major
riding
lawsuits,
those.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, geez. Well,
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on with e-bikes. Batteries blowing up. The Consumer Product Safety Commission trying to get like all these e-bike brands to have UL standard electric chargers so they don't light on fire. There was a bike shop in the news that lit on fire because they were charging an e-bike
There's
overnight.
A couple of them are in New York. New York's passing some actual laws with it about it.
They're having a bunch
And
of
now
problems with
bike
e-bike
shops
fires there.
are being dropped by their insurance providers, their liability insurance for their shop because of
Really?
e-bikes being in there.
Wow.
Yeah, but the insurance company, of course, isn't disclosing specifically that's what it dropped them for, but that's obviously the consensus.
Jeez.
Shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen videos of the e-bike batteries like exploding on the chargers, and it's like, wow. Do not, the reason number 2, do not buy a cheap Chinese e-bike off Amazon.
Yeah.
You do not want your house to burn down because of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta go bougie when it comes to e-bikes.
Yeah.
Can't go cheap.
Well, that was quite the tangent. And to answer the second part of the question, yes, bigger rotors are a worthwhile upgrade for lower end brakes.
I forgot about that.
Completely forgot what question we were even
Yes,
answering.
they are worthwhile. How about the next question? Okay, I see some SRAM chains that specify axis in the product title. Is that really a thing, or are we good with using a non-axis tagged chain on an axis derailleur? Also, can anyone actually spell derailleur without autocorrect? Yes, I can, but only because
No way.
we've been spelling
I
derailleur.
can.
Yes.
I can.
DERAILLEUR.
I have, because it's taken me a long time. Probably I've
You
worked
can't
here
even spell
7 years.
trail or trial correctly.
I can spell them both. I just type too fast. This isn't the Liam Roast podcast.
All you have to do is pronounce it like how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Derailleur.
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 It's a derailleur.
But it did probably
never
take me.
spell it wrong ever again.
I like the British way. They just call it a mech.
Yeah,
Mech. Oh, you got your rear mech, mate.
It's a mech.
your rear mech.
Oh, your mech is thrashed.
It probably took me 2 or 3 years of working customer service to be able to spell it correctly.
All right, well, let's answer this guy's question about the access chains.
Oh yeah, no, you don't. Only T-type. If you have T-type, you should get T-type chain.
T-type has a specific
or transmission
chain
is
and
what
Yeah.
it's actually called.
I think what they did when this happened was
It's
like
called T-type too. Why did they do that? T-type and transmission? Why didn't they just pick one?
SEO.
It's an SEO nightmare.
It is an SEO nightmare.
Right? I don't know.
No, so they have 12-speed Eagle chains, which work across everything. You could run an NX chain, 12-speed on XX1, or XX1 chain on NX, and anything in between. Axis just specifies the colored chains that they came out with later.
Yeah.
So I think the rainbow is called Axis. Maybe only rainbow, actually.
Yeah. When I was looking at the site earlier, that's what it said.
Only rainbow?
Because remember they had like Eagle Axis cassette, but it was like just the colors they came out with when they came out in
Yeah.
Axis. And everybody's like, oh, do I need this if I have Axis? Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that Eagle stuff's compatible with itself aside from
Yeah.
Transmission T-type,
i.e.
which
T-type,
you
whatever.
do need a transmission or a T-type chain.
That stuff's all specific.
And those are a little expensive. So
Ram just had to go and confuse everybody.
Yeah, what was funny is I think that original, at least from what I remember, some of the original sales copy, when they put AXS, they're like access, and it's all cross-compatible. It's all accessible from different things. You can use XX1, XO1, and GX, and they're all
SRAM Eagle
mismatches.
family.
Yeah. And then they're like,
ecosystem.
and here's T-type,
yes.
and none of it's compatible with all the old stuff.
It's
But T-type's
gone.
compatible across all T-type.
Yes.
So GX to XSL
Yeah, that's true,
is still
which
all
is cool.
compatible, mix and match.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of drivetrains, why in the world are bikes still coming with 175 millimeter and 170 millimeter cranks? Why?
Well, I think 170s are still relevant. I think 175s are, for 80 to 90% of people, trash.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the bike, but yeah, there is a lot of trail bikes that are trail and enduro bikes that are still coming with crank lengths that just don't really make any sense.
175 doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, 175
Anymore.
is old school.
Yeah, I haven't ridden 175 cranks in 10 years.
I never have in my life.
I don't know.
I mean, is it
Yeah.
simply because that there's still the product out there and we're transitioning away to a shorter crank length and that they just need to use these cranks?
And it can also be bad spec managers. I know one company rode 175s up until like 2 or 3 years ago because the owner of the company overruled all the spec decisions.
Oh,
These ones are better.
So,
wow.
yeah.
And then there's 100 employees telling him otherwise.
And hundreds and hundreds of customers that buy a bike and sell the crankset. So 170s I think are okay. I think it's a good starting point.
Yeah.
But I do think if you're riding a proper enduro bike, you basically should be on 165s, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that geo's evolved and bikes are so low nowadays. And if you're pedaling an enduro bike up techie trails and it's sitting that low, like you kind of have to have 165
and it's
cranks.
been kind of-
Otherwise, you're just going to whack your pedals.
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's been kind of proven that, 170s to 165s, you don't really get any less efficient, but you can actually spin better circles. And it's more relevant on like an XC or road bike, but your hip flexes are more open. Therefore, you can put out more power. So,
Yeah.
It's just different things. If you're really concerned about figuring out power and watts and Q factor and all that stuff, then you're probably on the cross country / roadside, and you might be a little bit more concerned with figuring out the exact right crank length for you and your situation.
yeah.
But if you are not doing that and you just want your pedals to not smash into the ground and you're riding a 130 mil bike or longer travel, then yeah, just go 170 or 165.
Yeah.
Yep.
Think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. Hey!
Hey.
Why'd you just yell that?
Because that's an exclamation point. on
Yeah.
it.
Hey. Go ahead, Liam.
I was wondering if you could cover your go-to chain sizing method and other methods of choice out there. I don't know what that other methods of choice means. For all bike types, small, big, are you following manufacturer's instructions solely? Thanks. Love the podcast. Up until transmission, I pretty much didn't necessarily listen to the manufacturer's installation instructions, and I always went through this is, I guess, according to a mountain bike with a single front chainring because I haven't set up
a 1x system.
A 1x. I haven't set up a 2x system in decades, probably.
Yeah,
at least a decade.
Ages ago.
So for 1x, I go through the rear derailleur as if it was routed correctly. Make sure you don't go over the tab so it rubs on your rear derailleur.
Which happens with a lot of Shimano derailleurs because it makes no sense where it is.
I go over the cassette and I go around the chainring, and then I come to the bottom and I basically make sure that there's just enough tension on the derailleur so it actually has some tension in that smallest cog, and then I cut the chain. So, and then by that point, you can get up to your
Small.
But,
Doesn't really mean small because the front's just is.
Mm-hmm. But for most all systems, you can shift into your largest cog or your first gear, whatever you want to call it, your easiest gear, and still have some movement for the suspension to move in that situation. With current modern drivetrains from like 11 speed on up, they have enough chain wrap and they've been designed around that. So,
but then came along T-Type, and it's a lot more specific how you got to cut that chain.
Very, very specific,
and you really need to follow the directions.
Basically, you just need to look up your bike model on the SRAM's database, and it'll tell you exactly how many links to cut your chain to. Mm-hmm. So you actually don't have to guess; you just have to look it up and follow instructions.
It's true.
Yeah.
But what if your bike is not in the database?
I think every bike with a UDH is on the database, unless you have like a small.
What about Nico's Frameworks bike?
Yeah, exactly. A small handmade bike.
A bespoke bike.
But then you put in, I think you put in your suspension type, high pivot, normal, your chain length, your chain stay length, and your front chain ring size, and it basically spits it out for you.
There you go. Sounds.
You like that one, Jeff?
Yeah. Pretty
good.
There you go.
Hopefully that works.
Wow. Wraps that one up, huh? Next question. When I was a kid in the late 80s, early 90s, getting into trail riding and mountain biking in central Pennsylvania, a bunch of people were riding with bar ends that extended forward with the presumable purpose of offering a different grip on the bars when climbing. Obviously, nobody does that anymore. Why not, and what happened? What other MTB innovations have come and gone? Or what are we doing now that may go the way of the dodo? P.S. I'm a huge fan of Liam, but feel the need to note that pet rocks seem to have gone the way of the dodo. No offense to King Lentil intended.
Is that why the rock got put on the table?
No, it's a coincidence.
No.
Unless you saw that and put it on the table.
No, I don't know what the way of the dodo means, though, so his insult went right over my head.
The way of the dodo basically means that it's extinct, doesn't happen anymore. Like bar.
To go the way of the dodo means that something is destined to go out of existence.
Your bar ends went in the way of the dodo.
Yeah, they did.
Well, that's what he said.
Yes. So why did they go the way of the dodo? And what other innovations have come and gone, or what are we doing now that will do that?
I think mountain bike geometry and position has changed a lot. When you're running bar ends, you're also running like 650 mil bars and 100 mil stems.
True.
And you needed the leverage to get far out there to crank uphill.
Yeah, that geo was so messed up.
Yeah.
Like
you're basically riding
so different.
road bikes off road, so you needed that leverage. As bikes got longer, slacker, stems got shorter, and bars got wider, you got the leverage you needed from those bar ends. And quite honestly, they're dangerous. You get hooked on stuff.
They're totally dangerous.
Hooked on trees and
like they're dangerous, and they're just not necessary the way that the bike geometry evolved.
You'll see some mountain bike marathon racers, like cross-country racers, or people at Leadville will put those on the inside of the grips now.
What do they call them? The
Togs.
Togs?
I just brought it up. It's called Togs. Literally Togs.com.
Togs. Yeah, you had those, don't you, Liam?
I did,
Did you have those ones?
I tried them once.
I think James and some of his friends ride those things out.
I didn't really enjoy them because I actually like to rest my hands kind of over the top of that.
Yeah.
And not like leverage that. But no, they'll use the actual old school ones, like the 2 or 3 inch ones.
Oh, wow.
Film on the inside of the grips.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
And use them as like mini extensions almost.
Wow.
But on the inside, not on the outside. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've seen like some ergon grips that you could still get those crazy.
Yeah, ergon grips have some
ends.
models that still have the sort of bar and funky looking things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think the way geometry's gone and bars got wider, stems got shorter, you didn't really need that leverage that was provided.
Yeah. Wow.
To be honest, I didn't really ride mountain bikes when those were in.
Yeah.
So
honestly, me neither. I mean
yeah,
some of my dad's
those
bikes
started
with those things,
fading
though.
out in I don't know,
What
late
you said.
90s maybe.
Yeah.
90s.
Late 90s.
Maybe early
That's the last
2000s
time
was
I've
the
ever
end of
seen
it,
them.
but yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
There you go.
I mean, it is nice too. Like just for clarity though, I move my hands around a lot. Like if I'm climbing or
totally.
something, or like big long days, I don't always have my hands in the normal riding position. I'll like put them on the end like this, or I'll like hang them over the front, or
I like to drape them over
nice
the
because
brake levers, basically.
I get some forearm pain too if I ride super long time without like climbing and twisting my wrist in a like vertical fashion. So
What do we think that might go the way of the Dodo now?
With bikes?
Yeah.
175 mil cranks on mountain bikes.
Yeah, those should be the way of the Dodo already.
Yeah. Super Boost? Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, less standards like that. I don't know. Or like the difference between 20 by 110 boost and 20 by 110 regular. Like, why is that?
That's pretty niche.
What
You're-
is
you're
happening with
downhill.
Super Boost? There's been a lot of new frames that just is not coming with Super Boost.
Yeah,
Like,
for
Super
what I know,
Boost
it's
is-
like Salsa, Pivot, and Evil. I think use Super Boost.
yeah.
Stupid Boost. That's about it.
Remember when I was trying to convince you to go on change.org and start a petition, and then you're like, oh, I don't know, man. It says it needs to be like a serious, like political or societal thing. And I'm
It
like,
is
"Oh,
serious. Stupid
I
Boost
guess
needs
this
to go
isn't.
the way
I
of
guess,
the
this
Dodo.
isn't- I guess we're not actually that
do
serious
remember
about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, like looked into this, like all these warnings, terms, and conditions, and they're like, oh yeah, we probably shouldn't be like using this as a joke. Apparently, change.org is for real things, not people to make jokes about Stupid Boost and Super Boost.
Oh, man.
Last
All right.
question.
Last
Well,
question.
we don't have time for it. You're gonna have to rip these notes from the past.
Okay, notes from
Oh.
episodes past. Well, since I'm listening to your most recent one and apparently want emails about your podcast, here you go. I have tried listening to other bike podcasts and honestly cannot get into them. Like the Pink Bike one is absolutely dreadful. I actually look forward to your podcast all the time. I genuinely can't think of anything I would change. I wouldn't be upset if you talked about single speeding once or twice, though. It's because of your podcast that I try to buy from you guys when I can afford to. I'm currently rocking Kettle shorts when I ride, not the newest bike-specific ones, which I hope to get soon. The Kettle stuff is really nice. One day I'll have some more. Anyways, great podcast. Have a peachy day. Tyson. Thank you, Tyson. We really
Thanks,
appreciate
You
Tyson.
that.
just read a testimonial. I thought these were notes from the past.
Yeah.
That was a note. It was a testimonial
But
note.
it wasn't a note from past episode, like correcting us or adding into a question that we asked.
No, not necessarily, but it is relating to the last episode, and that's why I put it there. And you know what? Can't a guy brag a little bit?
Yeah,
And we
that's
got
true.
a great
That is true.
podcast, and he said we're better than Pink Bike, and it was dreadful.
It is the
I
most
think-
highly reviewed mountain bike podcast in the world.
I think single speeds
Not
are
much
cool.
competition, but that is true.
Yeah. I think single speeds are cool, and our boy who rides for Revel, Gordon, just won single speed world championships
Oh yeah,
in
Wow.
Spain.
Wow.
Pretty sick.
On
Sick.
what bike?
El Jefe? No. Yeah, El Jefe.
That's what I'm talking
Nice.
about.
Single speeds are sweet.
And if I was tougher and or had flatter terrain, I would love to ride single speed, but I'm wussy and we have really steep hills around here.
But if you got that chainring tattoo with the ratio on the back of your calf, then you could do it.
My calves are all tattooed up. I don't have room. So
All right, that's it. That's all for this episode. If you've made it this far, thank you very much. We genuinely appreciate it. If you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it really helps us out. Thank you so much. Talk to you guys next one.
Thank you, everybody.